Get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jam, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Y'all ready for this?
Right on.
Are you guys ready for this? For rest day. It is rest day at the ECRO World Tour Chasing Yellow 2005. We have completed 10 stages so far, and who have made it at this point, congratulations. You guys did amazing. No matter where you stand in the general classification GC, or if you just like popping in and spicing up some races, thanks for contributing more or less, because it affects the races for sure. But having said that, you guys are amazing. We made it to this point and we are here. I invite everybody to come into the chat and have a little chat around with me as we are going through the first 10 stages, what happened in each category. More or less, I can recap, as well as analyzing the upcoming stages until the next day off, which is, I feel it's, what is it, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is Monday. It's the next Monday. So only like a short week. Go faster. Yeah, this is just an easy like rollout. So no big wattage here. We are talking about the ECRO series and all the general standings. And we were gonna go through some stages which are ahead of us, which are more mountain stages, and we have one big one coming up, and that is stage 14. Stage 14 will be something you don't want to miss. Otherwise, if you are prepared for that E-gap, you better buckle up, my friends. It's gonna be three times the Lucha, how we say it. So let's go right through it here. We had the first stage at the ECRO World Tour was Sand and Swans, the rolling opener, which kind of let everybody know that we are here. We're on the ball, we're on the game. So everybody got a sense where everybody was standing. People came in. I'll tell you what, it was a tough one for me. I actually placed 29th, I think, out of like 45 people in my category that particular race. And yes, everybody is very excited in the first week, and then like it thins out the GC based on the standings, as well as maybe some people have family commitments, work commitments, and so on. So not a big issue, but consistency is king. Showing up every day is king, because there are riders in some categories, and I will speak for the B category right now. That's the category I'm competing in. Is a category where some riders, I think they are actually ace, but you know, no matter what, while you're upgrading throughout the tour, everybody gains fitness, myself included. I'm very grateful for that. But some people in the B's holding the A groups to the last minute every time, and good for them. But they setting the B benchmark very high for the lower B's, which are then battling out the time gaps between the first marker and the last person who comes in. If you are missing one stage, and we will go through each category. I will point out some people who were at the top of their game and just had probably family commitments or maybe bike issues or work conflicts and could not participate and paid big time for not showing up. So let's dive right into it and let's get into it, all right? So I will pull up the classification. We're gonna start with the A categories. Start with the heavy hitters here. The A categories is, and I have to apologize if I pronounce your name wrong, and now Ruben is one of them. I probably mispronounce all the time, and he can like slap me left and right digitally. That's fine. I take it. I'm an ESL guy myself, and I mean, reading certain names, it's a pleasure to do so because it's very versatile, as you can see with the flags. However, after 10 stages and yeah, completing 10 stages, and most of the guys in the A's have done that. The standing is as follow. Ruben John is leading the pack. Surprise! I know, I know. Don't worry about it. The odds or the bookkeepers have him up there anyways, so he will play a role for sure. However, there is some movement, there are some shakers underneath, and if you are aware of some people who are not mentioned here but deserve to be mentioned, tune into the chat, let me know, and we can go through that. But in the A's, it's clearly that Ruben sets the pace. For people who are not following the ECRO World Tour so quickly, there are normally 4 slots each day. I would say the Asian Pacific, the Australian guys racing first. Then I would say the Europeans coming in slot 2 in the morning, or taking slot 3 in the afternoon, racing with the North Americans or east side of America. And then you have like slot 4, which is West Coast, North America, maybe Hawaii, and maybe some late tuners, Austrian people from Australia, who are taking the 4th slot as well. So don't worry about it. So you have 4 chances to race throughout the day. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, slot 2 and 3 are the most challenging. Maybe slash 4, if you really miss the boat, you can like jump on the 4th and get the stage in, but slot 2 or 3 are the most challenging slots racing, as you have a tight crew battling it out for the ace here. But again, don't underestimate slot 4, and I will tell you who are the kings, you know. In slot A, obviously, category A, you have Ruben leading the pack. From Team Turbo, Joseph Chaduk, he has came up strong, and I know his teammates Andrew as well as Alan Lowy, who is currently in position number 6, very good domestiques to Joe, and trying to get him closer and closer to Ruben Donner, which is clearly working right as of right now. This guy is in 2nd place. Joe is just 27 seconds behind Ruben, and I tell you what, if you're racing in a different slot than Ruben, and most of the time you have certain people in certain slots which dictate the pace, Ruben is definitely one of them who dictates the pace in slot 2 or 3, where he mainly races. In slot before you have seen um, Collab Carl, who is more on a waiting and see approach, drafting off the back, but he knows when to push, and he showed that yesterday as well. So he kept the A's and mainly B's there, top B's together to descend very well at the Decker Dash interval, I think 6 or 7 laps around. So that was a very good overall time. I think they made up some time keeping more people together and circling around in a overall quicker time. So he is probably king of the fourth slot. Colette. Then Ruben said 3 and 2. And then one guy I want to like point out, he is not on here, but he comes right there and at position 36. Martin Matthias Quest from Denmark, as well as his buddy, I think it's Christensen. Sørensen is up there, same team SISU, as well as Martin Christensen on 7th. They know what they're doing. They are racing together in slot 1 and 2 most of the time, and they're a powerhouse. They communicate well, they're well trained. I know they are like, I mean, Martin Christensen is like 140 back, but I know Martin down here on position 36, he missed 2 races, and I mean, it's just 26 minutes away. He is actually a top contender. If he would be able to come in and race every race, he would be up there in the top, probably top 5. I would say so. But having said that, there's some consistencies up there. One is Alain Lepartache from France. Then our Aussie friend, who is probably riding in slot 1 most of the time, together with Martin and Christensen, is Michael Gallagher. He is really on fire. David Kowalski from the Coalition Proto team is mainly racing in slot 3 or 4, and he is up there still very well positioned to strike big. And when I mean strike big is, I know we're talking about like a minute 30 or something, like the top 10, let's say top 15, okay? They are all inside, I would say, roughly 3 minutes. 3 minutes in a mountain stage, if you blow up, you're losing a minute or 2, you're going backwards in the GC. So that is crucial to stay on the ball right now, especially when the mountain stage comes along. Another good guy, again, Team SISU Kuwait, is Thomas Sorensen and Craig Harris, part of the Denmark Express, I call it, for the Ace. They are on fire, communicating very well. And if you see them in a race working together, I can literally see them like, hey guys, let's team up. That next cross we're gonna like go all out, and 5 people from SISU Kuwait just like take off. Try them to stop. Try to stop them. That's gonna be a TT effort from them. If they're gonna get away, good luck. That only needs like a collab or Ruben effort to really like go after that. But I can see Team Turbo, Joe and Alan chasing after that. Yeah, it's game on at this point. It's game on. Who can I point out who stuck out to me in certain stages? I know there's the Cheesecake Crew. Is always there. And we will talk about them later, as we had our other Aussie, who is probably not listed here. He just upgraded to the Ace, and I'm talking about, let's see if we can find him. Ollie flag. Stephen Haycock, Chase Racing is sometimes on my radar. He just like does some good pulls, but the person I'm referring to is actually Adam Dawson. He's in position 58, 56 minutes back. He has participated in all races, and now Adam is a workhorse. He can really dig in. He has shown that in the Bs last year he upgraded, and now he gets a reality check, a category up. So good for him going out there and measuring up with the big boys. So I know it's tough, but he's on a good journey to go up there. Special shout out to my coalition friends, Mark from Coalition Proto, as well as Maxwell Johnson, Coalition Proto, sitting in respectively 33rd and 30th place, which is a phenomenal effort. And you guys are just 20 minutes back and 17 minutes back. So it's all in reach. I feel there will be still like a big shakeout. We'll find out who can hold the wheels up the hills, particularly when we talk about the next stages. Next stage is coming up. Stage 11 is Scotland Smash 35k 400 meter elevation. Not as hilly. 400 meter. It's still rolling, but it's definitely something you wanna stay on top, because if you lose the wheel of the group in front of you, you are probably eating up 30 seconds a minute in the GC, and you in the ace, you are out of the top 10. It's that quick. The next one coming up is Temples and Towers. So Temples and Towers is again only 320 meters in elevation. However, we have some good risers in here, which you can see clearly down here in the profile. One at the beginning where we shake out the weak. Then you want to hang on as long as possible on the straight. That climb is probably possible even for the beast to hang on here on the ace. But I tell you what, coming into the last climb right now, hold on to your horses and try to make the descent with the fastest group you can find, and hold the wheels to the finish line. That will be something you don't want to miss, okay, especially for the strong beast to follow. On Friday, we have the Überpritzel, the TT. When I saw that, it's like, what, are you guys for real? That's 120k and more. But it's gonna be just the first climb. So starting out, going out here, I think it's 17k or something. And it's gonna be this climb right now here where it counts. And you will be gonna clock out right there at the epic calm. I hope we're not doing the radio tower. That would be too brutal. But having seen that stage, climbing up to epic calm is interesting, because you might be able to like go to the road bike and climb up quicker with your road bike instead of your TT. We will see what the first slots do. Second slot, I am normally racing a third, so I have a little bit of a perspective what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's gonna be epic. Then after the TT, I would call it, yeah, it is the Queen stage. They call it the Queen stage. It's the Lutscher. We're going to Innsbruck, Austria. We're gonna do it 3 times. Holy moly. Yeah, that climb will be torture. First time people will try to hang on as long as possible, trying to make the descent, differentiating themselves from their peers as well as from their direct competitors in their GC. Second climb, it's gonna be looking for your power numbers, trying to get up there. Again, make it up there in a decent time. And the third time is purely survival. Tell you that, purely survival. This is gonna be probably for most of the racers in an hour 20 at least. An hour 20, yeah, something like that. This is gonna be the queen stage, or the stage where you don't want to miss the stage. I know it's tough to climb up there, but if you're not making this stage, you will probably be left behind with the massive E-gap. I would probably say over 45 minutes at least. So it's done and dusted if you missed that one. After the big queen stage or mountain stage, we have the snowman coming up with just 500 meters of elevation. Yes, it is doable. It is a nice one. And we're starting from downtown, going through the S's, and it will be, yeah, first a mellow pace until we go to this little climb here, going up the bridge, heading over into the jungle. He is like hanging on it to dear life, using that descent, and that is where it's getting interesting. The Maya mountain climb. Yeah, it's rolling descent, it's all doable, but here, the serpentine, the corners left and right, is where the separation will take place. And hopefully you get a good wheel to draft down to downtown Watopia. That will be interesting. So watch out for this one. Happy to review that. But again, this is gonna be climbing. And then where the serpentines are right here, this is where the man from the boys will be separated, or the ladies from the girls, or whatever, however you say it in your language. So, and that was Sunday, and then we have a Monday off, rest day, and we will see each other there again for another review or another standing. So take a screenshot right now, right here, as you see the top 33 people in the A category. Let's look at the B category. The B category is the one I'm competing again, or competing in. And to be quite honest, I have not seen the first guy in my races. It's a German guy, Sebastian Wolf, from Down and Dirt, flipping birds. I know why he has not like come on my radar, but he has done tremendously well throughout the first 10 stages, followed by Chasing Racing, Clive Jordan, and a guy I'm following close is Austin Orsh from Team Turbo. Yes, Team Turbo is stronger team. They communicate well over, I think, Discord or like chat. And again, it's like Andrew, Joe, Alan, Ostrich. They're very well organized when it comes to them. And Ostrich is pulling up some great performances. Another guy who was very successful the last year, and I would consider him more as he's slowly riser, he's a mover, and he moves up quietly from Team Maggie Cream, is called Maxi. Maxi from Team Maggie Cream is moving up surely but surely, I don't know how you say that, but he is moving up. His teammate, and I point him out, is Kevin Palsmans. He is from Team Maggie Cream, and he is actually a streamer as well. You can check him out in the live stream you see on the ECRO Discord or on YouTube. So check him out. He is able to hold with the ace most of the races. So that actually, and again yesterday, gave him a big time gap to us, and he got some credit for that. So he is moving up the ladder. He's currently sitting at 12th, and he's making up his ranks right above Annie Poland. And Annie is the girl to beat. If you don't want to be chicked, you have to be staying in the top 10 because Annie is coming for you. And I feel she hasn't turned on the beast mode yet because I feel her strength is exactly the Lucha will be her strength. As she's a lighter lady and very powerful, she will just fly by you and will not say hi. So she shakes her hands at the finish line, but I tell you that there will be no prisoners. So, and she's running for OTR, and they're very well organized as well. This team with Annie is actually overlapping categories. Annie has the benefit of benefiting from other categories from C, B as well as A, because she rides very well and she rides with the Ace. Obviously, there's cross-pollination and she gets some wheels and some communication, which is totally fine because when you're up there, they're all around you, the Ace, and if she keeps up with them, why not like taking a wheel from Vogt or BB, who is in the Bs, sitting right now at position number 5. Another guy, Stephen Brumley, same team, sitting in 9th. Like the top 10 is all in 10 minutes. So it's very tight, and I feel there could be some movement in the mountain stages. Special shout out again to Top Geinsler and Ben Goldberg from Team Coalition, excuse me, Proto, which is sitting in 6th and 8th respectively. They have been on there around, Annie. I think they are mainly racing in slot 3 on the weekends and slot 4 throughout the week. So slot 4 is always a very solid bunch. So it's hard to make predictions because some slots are quicker than others on some stages, but it all depends who shows up. And if you are in the B category and you're in slot 4, you riding with King Collab, who dictates the pace there. So if you're riding in slot 3 and 2, you're running into Ruben, which dictates the pace there. And if you're riding in slot 2 or 1, you're most likely riding with the SISU Kuwait team with Martin Christensen and the Denmark Express, I call them. So yes, stick to them in your category on your slots and you will be just fine. It's almost impossible to stick to them if you're a B, but if you can, good for you. You're on the right trajectory. So going further down in the Bs, because it spreads out, but there's a good participation in the Bs, I tell you that. We have good numbers throughout the B category, and everybody is still in contention. I know the mountains will cause gaps, and I feel the Queen stage, the Lucha, we will see gaps between the top 1 and let's say 15 here of 3 or 5 minutes. I'm certain of that. So there will be some big shake-ups, which I want to point out. Pay attention to the German flags. Yeah, Sebastian Wolf, Maxi, Alexei Nestrov. He is SIS Kuwait team. He is missing a T actually in his team, but it's in his name, but it's fine. Then the man I'm paying attention to has no team right now here is Lars Schlanger. He is from the Wattfabrik, and he is the guy I'm trying to latch on, who sits in spot 23 respectively with 27 minutes and 31 seconds behind. He actually grabbed the group at the roller coaster in Richmond, and he rode away with the ace, I feel like, and I I missed that train. He was in a different slot, however, I was not able to hold the pace, and in my race I was in a chase group 2, but it was slower, and he actually made some time on me. So we are away 2.5 minutes in separation. He's 23, I'm sitting at 27th with the Coalition Neuro team. 30 minutes back in total. So let's see. Another guy I have been riding with and is on the upwards trajectory is Andrew Sosa from Team Tugas, as well as Carlos Rice from Team Tugas. Pay attention to these guys. They are coming for you. They slowly but surely eating up some time, and they're placing up there every day, showing up great warriors, great riders. So they are up there for sure. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming. So another guy I want to point out, and that's actually where you think it's worth showing up. Two guys actually. One guy, a British guy, is Rob Lee from Sooners World Tour. Is sitting currently in 21, and right behind him is Manuel Gill from Team Coalition Proto. They missed one race. They missed one race and got penalized for that with a time gap of the last person in the B, and that was, I think, 20 minutes or something. So these guys actually belong way up there. I think Manuel from Coalition Proto, he was actually in top 10, oh sorry, in first position when he lost his not his race, but he wasn't participating. I think he had a technical issue, as I recall hearing through the vine, but he's back on the red. So, and I think he will be chasing everybody down from now on, tell you that. So pay attention to these names. Rob Lee, Manuel Gill, if you see them blowing by, they are not 20 guys. They are like the top 3, at least. So grab their wheel. Another guy I have been riding with the last few races, and when I say riding with is you're trying to hold on to the ace as a B long as possible. First priority. But then there is, may or may not, a separation. And when that separation occurs, you just look around who survived that one. And that is mainly my friend Andre Sosa and my Belgian friend Thilo von Speckberg, Team Evelo. They are very well organized, and they are having similar power as myself. So we're gassing out at the same time, I feel like. Even though I know Sosa, he's lighter than me, and I think he has more in the tank, as he admits. So, but yeah, after 10 stages, you see the people you should ride in the group after you are separated from the ace, or maybe C's. We will talk about C's in a little bit, because where I'm hanging out, I have the top C's around me. So in the group, most of the time, I'm riding with the first C during the race, or the first 3 C's in the group I'm escaping or chasing with. So, but yeah, Andy Wells, very well organized. That is something you want to keep doing. And looking forward to more racing. So this is interesting, very interesting. I know I can go on and on and on. I want to give a special shout out to my Swiss knife Mike from Coalition Xenon, who has been first in the C category, and he did very well there, but he did so well that he got upgraded. And welcome to the Bs. And that's the reality check. So he was, I think, leading C, and I think in the first race or second race, and then he disappeared in that group and he got sorted into the Bs, just upgraded Another special shout out to my German fellow Chris Heldinger from Eintracht Frankfurt Radsport, who is 42 minutes back, and Chris Newberry, who was very close to me as well. Chris Newberry was actually riding in the seas last year, and I think he was always in the, I would say, top 5, top 10-ish. He must have upgraded, and now he gets the reality check of Beast. So it's an elevator game, I feel like. When you're in the seas, top seas, you're gonna come up into Beast, and then you find yourself probably more at the halfway to the bottom of the end. Not at the bottom, but halfway and then a little bit further down. Except my friend Andres Sosa, who was C last year, and he has done incredible work, and he is up at 17th place. So yeah, that's going to be something you want to keep an eye on. And that, yeah, it gets tricky here, as you see some riders, for example, they have just 7 races. They are coming close to the cutoff. Yeah, you want to pay attention to it. Don't underestimate the people with just 7 races. One guy, for example, is Vincent Sauer and Alice Lethbridge from Coalition Proto. Again, that team is very well organized. One of my sister team. And I feel Vincent and Alice, if they're racing with you, yeah, they missed a couple races, but they're racing with you probably up there, right at the front. They're like super strong. So I'm pretty happy about that. Always a good insight. And I have a heart for my 2 US friends because they are pushing me left and right. So having said that, let's move on to the C category. The C category is something that is always like a little bit of a mixed bag in there. But as you can see, the front group is dictated by the SISU Oaxaca team. Again, you see white jerseys with the writing on it, same way as you see in slot 1 and 2 in the Ace, the Denmark Express. They are the ones in the C. We're making it interesting. And if you have several people in a team close by, then you are good in communicating. Oh, one thing I want to point out in the Bs, special shout out to where is she? Is Carrie Paul. Carrie Paul, she is mixing up the man, so you will get humbled with her. I feel she will gain more time. She has good power numbers, and she will probably climb very well throughout the next stages, particularly at the Lucha. If she doesn't blow up there, I think she will do very well. In the C category, Sarah Wilkie, Catching Bees. Yeah, I love the name. Very similar to my friend Jimmy Froster in the Bees. Says Catching Bees, good numbers, and she's up there catching really bees. So if you are in the top C's, and I would say the top 5, top 7, top 8, yeah, you are catching bees, and hopefully you holding on to them. I see a lot of like names popping up in certain races. In my group, where I'm like behind the Ace, chasing bees, first chase group in the bees, and I see C's coming behind me or being with me. So, and yeah, Chris Greenland, Felix Pompanike, he is a person who's up there. I think he has good numbers as well. Probably good puncher. Have I seen other people sticking out? Sean Crowley, I've seen you, buddy, in position number 12. around me. Team Tugas, Carlos Cavallo, greetings to you. Yes, you were on my radar. You have done very well on some stages. Craig Clark, all names which pop up, and Eric Kirby is the guy I like, and Christian Pickering, the Canadian. Here we go. That is good sport from you guys. Very good sport. Um, just looking at the time differences here, yeah, the seas are 20 places down and it's 20 minutes apart, and it goes almost in minutes. So there will be a little bit like of a shuffle, I feel. Um, and we will see how this all pans out. Okay. Coming to the D's, this is a little bit of a mixed bag, as I don't have that much to say about them, as these guys are a little bit farther back and I don't see them that often. But based on the numbers, yeah, the E-gaps are getting bigger. What is important here, and I tell you that, is probably showing up. Like position 1 to 21 are people who showed up consistently, and they are racing for the final points at the GC. So showing up is something you want to do. Put a rotisserie chicken in the oven and have it. I was going to say, rotate, but it's all about consistency. Wake up, be consistent, put the power down, and you will improve. And the people who show up 1 to 21 have 10 races underneath their belts. They are there for a reason. And you what? Keep punching. If somebody is missing a stage, they're gonna be out. They're gonna be like, boom, 30th place probably right away, and you moving up. So keep on punching. Keep on punching. In the East, E is kind of like, oh my God, what is this? E is probably a group which is very low, just entered the Swift world, the racing world, and has not that much velo scoring or like Swift race scoring. It's a different bag here, if I see that. The top 10 are in let's say a top 9 are in 20-minute time frame, and I feel this is clearly a position where the team Tina Kios Tigers with Craig and Alex dictating the pace, and probably are very good in jumping onto the D and C's and hang on and get away, because this is all about catching a wheel and drafting as best as possible. If you mastered your draft, you're going to be on a good path of improving your racing. So, and yeah, that's what it's all about, I feel, at this class. Learning the skills of racing, the dynamics of the game, finding your footing, and hopefully migrating into the D and C category as you progress in your performance. All right. So let's have another close look for the next upcoming races. The one tomorrow, Scotland Smash, and there you go. I'm screwed. Let's see if I can recover that one. Here we go. Got it back on the ringer. So the next learnings or next things you see is basically stage number 1, the upcoming stuff. I love Scotland. I love Scotland. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out and we're gonna go through the city. which means you're gonna have the champion sprint in it, and you're gonna have the first like 2 ramps in there. Here again, starting out there, going through the city, you have to ramp. There could be a separation right away if there's like big pushes. It could be a race where people feel fresh out of the gate. It's gonna be guns blazing. Be ready for this one, of a spicy start to hold the wheels and get the lactate really high up very quickly. When we go to the city, it's slightly uphill, and then we're coasting around the outer skirt of Scotland, and we do that twice. We're gonna do that twice. So, whew. Um, yeah, it's again the art of drafting. Particular spots I want to point out is I call the custom corkscrew corner, where we're gonna go through in a little bit here. I tell you when it's coming up here. Coming out of the city, now we're going out. Here's a big descent. Pace it right here. Pace it well that you draft through the group into the climb and generate speed going up that will save some matches. If you mismatch, you have to burn a match to stay on the group. So other than that, yeah, it's doable. It's drafting doable. So there will be surges, there will be attacks, probably close to or after the corkscrew, as well as on like the longer uphill sections, which is this one here, out of the city. And then I could see after that Loch Loop reverse. That is another very harsh, and comes right after that corkscrew effort, very harsh ramp where we will see separation. So this is going to be this point, short break, this point, trying to recover as best as possible, and then here again, ramp again. That's going to be the tricky part, where you want to be on the ball or on the wheels. Okay, so coming back to the next stage. The next stage, Temples and Towers. Temples and Towers is a stage. Whew. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Again, you running downtown a little bit. Here's a lengthy climb which will stretch the peloton very much apart. I highly recommend trying to go as hard as possible up that first stretch to hold the wheels from the category above you, as they will carry you down the descent, and you hopefully can recover on the longer flats through the Makui, like rice fields or whatever they call it. Huh? So, considering you have survived this stretch of climbing and you're in it, recover, recover, recover. Going out to the rice fields, and then we have like another climb. This is where we will see lots of lactate coming in, with a short recovery in between, and climbing the dirty section up to the water area, which is followed by a longer descent. Again, if you are able to hold on to the higher categories on that descent, you might be able to recover. And I always recommend pushing over the crust and snowballing down to keep the momentum, to keep the speed high of the group. So the A's do it regardless. The front B's, I think they do it, but it depends on how tight the group is and how many A's may be left in that group. The C's will not work in that group because they are just like happy to be there. But if you made it, congratulations, you're on the way to become a solid B. So this is gonna be something. something, something, something. So um, we talked about the IT. You're gonna go out of Utopia, and it's gonna be like a mountain or a climbing stage for triathlon. I wouldn't be surprised if I see people starting with road bikes, starting with TTs and changing into road bikes, probably at that bridge right here, and going into the climb of the Epic Com. I have to see where the finish is. I hope not it's at the radio tower. If this is at the radio tower, thank you, ECRO team. Thank you. We appreciate it. So other than that, it's all shits and giggles here. That doesn't count. So yeah, that will be good. Hopefully we have all done our like TT upgrades, being as light as possible, as aero as possible, having the best gear and chain group setup or whatever upgrades there are to upgrade your TT. I hope you have done that. So, and boy, I'm looking forward to that. The Lucha. The Lucha is gonna be something everybody will will like to forget. It's a longer grind coming out of downtown Innsbruck, going into it, and exactly there is where the power will increase. It's gonna be probably for the Ace, I don't know, 13-minute climb, I would say. I'm just estimating. I would probably do it in 19 minutes. I'm not a climber. I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm exposing myself. I'm a heavier guy compared to my peers. So I have to put down the power. I hope I survive. Be ready for this one. 1600 meters of elevation. 3 laps. You guys want to be ready for this. I have probably 2 or 3 bottles with electrolytes on it. Could be long stage, could be long day on the bike. So this is considered the Queen stage for the ECRO World Tour, and we will see the biggest time gaps on this tour. So yeah, what's the best setup for this tour, for this route? I could see people using a Tron. I know it's not the best climber, but there is, when you go up, you have to come down 3 times. It's very aero, so don't miss out on the aero part. If you are not aero enough, you might lose in the group on the way down. That would be fatal, because that's your time to recover. You're probably going downhill for around like I would say 4 to 5 minutes. If you snowball through, you'll probably be in good shape for the next climb and have made a gap to the group behind you. But in terms of bike setup, I would probably go with an all-arounder SL8 with some DT 65 rims or a Pinarello. I know there's some halo bikes out there, a specialized halo bike. People say it's a bad climber, but it's a good on the flats and good descender, so we will see. Maybe I don't ride that bike, I don't have it, so I don't know how it performs, but something you probably see there. I could see some lighter guys using actually a disc wheel, because the climb is draftable. It's not super steep. I think at the steepest point it's like 9%, but all in all it's just like I would say 15 or 20 minute power, just like pushing through and holding the wheel. I can see you guys being like this, head down into the pedals, pushing to your pedals, just slightly looking up and seeing the screen, and pray that the wheel in front of you is still there, that you're in the draft, because it is draftable. So consider a good bike setup. If you're on a heavier side like myself, I'll probably consider something lighter. If you are a lighter guy, I wouldn't be surprised seeing a disc wheel on your road bike. Um, yeah, be aware of nutrition. 1600 meters of elevation. That is no joke. So yeah, be ready for an hour plus, hour 20, I would say, of racing. So consistent, good pacing racing. Depends on the ace. I would probably estimate. I'm just spitballing here. A time of like 56 minutes. The ace, the B's, let's say an hour and 6 minutes, hour and 4 minutes. C's, hour and 15. D's, hour and 20 and more. But again, that's rough estimates. I could be completely wrong. Just be ready for a long day in the saddle. And that is gonna be your your Saturday. That's gonna be your Saturday. Look forward to that. So if you have any family engagements, massage your wife or partner or whoever you live with, your kids, that you might be sweaty that day. Um, yeah, followed after that is gonna be the snowman, which is another climbing stage, mountain stage considered respectively, and it's the last stage before another rest day. So you will see a flat start, which then is quickly interrupted by going up the bridge. Or it's that, I would say, a very steep like climb up to the bridge, coasting over. There's a little bit of break. This way it's actually downhill, and keep the momentum into the jungle. It's all recovery here, and the actual race will start right here at the Maya mountain combo, where you have Maya and Itza back to back, rolling terrain, pretty draftable. I would probably go arrow on this stage, even though the mid to last section is pretty spicy uphill. The main separation, the big movers will put their moves on after the Itzercom is done, and that's, I don't know if it's English as well. Serpentine is like that zigzag thing. It's like 6 corners going up there. That's gonna be like a 3 minute effort for everybody to power up there as quick as possible and get a gap, and from there descend. If you having the chance to stay in a group up there, go up there, push as hard as you can, and get 5 or 6 guys or girls around you and descend down to Watopia downtown. So the descent is where you want to maintain your gap, because the actual race will happen throughout the Maya Com and Itza Com, and then the decisions will be made on that. Um, I don't know what it's called, that the stair climb. So yeah, that's it. And after that is rest day. That is gonna be your Monday. So that's it for today. You see again, the decisions are on the screen. People are still in contention. I'm following the Bs very closely, as well as the As, as they impact my racing. Yeah, I'm a heavy guy. I will probably go more backwards than forwards, but if I can put consistency and power onto my paddles, I might be able to stick behind wheels and bodies, and hoping for a good descent to hang with the crowd. Yeah, official shout out to Lars Schlange. I'm coming for you. 2.5 minutes. You are my target for now. So let's see how we survive the mountains, as we are similar in terms of like weight and power numbers. Um, let's see. One stage in the mountain can be like 2 minutes difference. Like, so if he has a bad day, I have a bad day. Like this thing spreads out by 5 minutes, like very quickly. So be ready for it. have your little Skittles and little knickknacks, sugary drinks, Coca-Cola, ready for some stages, especially at the Lutscher stage, where you need sugar to deplete or replenish some stuff shortly, as well as like have electrolyte drinks and be well fueled with gels and have a good meal way before the race to be ready to put down the power. So that was an hour of analysis here. I will tune out for you. I will do another probably hour of like easy riding on my day off, and you guys enjoy enjoy your day. And I see you guys tomorrow. All right, fresh and ready to go and have another round in Scotland. All right, right on, guys. Cheers. See you on the other side. Bye bye.